Podcast.
All right, this is an emergency podcast. Emergency I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. We are the patent holders of the emergency podcast, despite what some other podcasts people might be saying. If ever there's been a time for an emergency podcast, this is it.
Yep.
I'm sorry to wake you up out of a sleep, G. Moody. I know it's late on the East Coast. I'm actually in New York. Otherwise, I'd be down at the police station bailing Charles Oakley out of jail.
What happened?
They fucking arrested Charles Oakley.
What happened?
He was at the Garden in the first quarter of the Knicks-Clippers game. And Porzingis was at the line, and then the camera just kind of swayed to see like an incident. You know, Oakley's 6'9", and he got into like a shoving match and a pushing match with security. They're saying that he was trying to go at Dolan, not to fuck him up, probably to talk greasy.
Yeah.
Or maybe even just to holler at him. Who the fuck knows? I don't know.
Right.
If I was in New York, I'd be at the police station right now bailing him out with my own money. And the security hemmed him up, grabbed him up. He didn't really resist security too much. They brought him to the corner, like by where the players come in and come out onto the court. The crowd could see it because it's Charles Oakley. He's a big guy, and it's right there down by courtside. The crowd started chanting, Oakley, Oakley, Oakley.
Yeah.
Then they arrested Charles Oakley, and he's in custody. And then Mike Breen, who's a Knicks fan, he said, yo, Charles Oakley is a beloved player in New York. That's why the fans always loved him. And they fucking arrested Charles Oakley, man. They fucking arrested Oak, man. The crowd went fucking crazy.
Oakley.
And you know what, G?
Yo.
His frustration is what all Knick fans have been feeling since 1999. The chaos, the disappointment, the heartbreak, the confusion. We have Knicks fans getting into fights and arguments with other Knicks fans. We have the New York Post writers getting into beefs with the Daily News writers. We have like a civil war amongst Knicks fans. And you know what? It shouldn't be that way. This is how frustrating it is.
It's a shit show.
It's a fucking shit show. It's a fucking shit show. And it culminated with Charles Oakley Charles Oakley, listen, he's not even a top 50, top 100 player, but he exemplified what it meant to be a New York athlete. Charles Oakley will always be beloved by New York fans because he exemplified that hard work, that grit, that never say die, that never give up, that what New Yorkers are at their core. Forget the gentrified Manhattan. Forget fucking the hipster Williamsburg. I'm talking about the majority of New Yorkers. Forget Fifth Avenue and Park Avenue. I'm talking about the five boroughs as a whole. I'm talking about the working class people in Staten Island, Long Island, the Bronx, even outside of the city in Jersey. He exemplified that. And I don't know what the fallout was between him and Dolan. Oakley has talked a lot of shit. Oakley doesn't hold back. He showed tonight he's ready to fuck some shit up. You could read his mind. He said, get your fucking hands off me.
Yeah, he's ready.
He's ready to fuck shit up. And his frustration, whatever it was, if he had maybe a couple of glasses of wine, is what we all feel. We all want to go to Dolan and be like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
So they fucking locked up Oak, man. They fucking locked him up. They're probably going to have Charles Oakley in the fucking Tombs. The Tombs is the jail cell in lower Manhattan where they bring everybody. Yeah, you go to the local precinct, then they bring you downtown. Free Charles Oakley. and all this shit about Carmelo this, and Dolan this, and Phil Jackson this. And I was thinking, you know what, G, I'm gonna keep it 500. Because I like Carmelo. I know his wife. I like him as a player. I've always liked him. But he's not the answer for the Knicks. He's been under siege with the Knicks.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily his fault. And then these people are trying to say, oh, Phil Jackson, he's not this, he's not that. And I was thinking about this with Phil Jackson, Moody.
Go ahead.
Phil Jackson knows more about basketball than almost any living person. Phil Jackson has played against, battled in the trenches with every single top 50 player in the NBA history. Phil Jackson was playing against Lou Alcindor. Phil Jackson was playing against Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, the original Big Three. Before Kareem was Kareem, Phil Jackson was playing against Lou when he was with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes.
Rick Barry, Elgin Baylor, Dave Bing. He played against all of them. He played at the Garden, the Boston Garden, when it was a fucking zoo. And then forget about the people he coached. Billy Cunningham, all these fucking John Havlicek. He was in there playing against. He was in there. You talk about playing hard. On the New York Knicks, Dr. Dick Barnett was the first player he ever met when he came. Do you know who Dick Barnett is? Dick Barnett is one of the most underrated, underappreciated basketball players ever. He will bust your ass in any era. In
Right.
any era. Sam Jones and them dudes.
Yeah.
Jerry Lucas, all these dudes. These are dudes that he traded sweat against. Forget the guys he coached. He traded sweat against all these dudes. Earl Monroe. When Phil Jackson thinks a player isn't working hard, you know what his standard is? Willis Reed. Willis Reed was a fucking goon. You talk about hard work. That Willis Reed career was made off of hard work, determination. Phil Jackson is the owner, the sole proprietor of the photographs that he shot before Game 7 of the 1970 championship. He's never released them. He saw the 3-inch needle that Willis Reed took into his thigh to go out there and play in Game 7. When you talk about playing hard, you talk about determination, you talk about work ethic, these fucking guys during that era, they had jobs during the off season. The NBA, you couldn't make a living playing in the NBA. So when Phil Jackson, just the guys he played against, when he talk about if a guy plays hard, his standards are on another level.
This is true.
He played against Lou Alcindor and Oscar fucking Robertson. Now, we've talked our shit about Oscar Robertson. He played against these dudes. They were playing life and death. This is how Willis Reed was playing for life and death. Mm-hmm. So when these guys are talking, Phil doesn't know this, forget the 9 fucking, the championships, the 11 championships. Forget all of that. I'm just talking about what he knows, the level of basketball players that he's been around. So if he doesn't think Carmelo is the answer, Carmelo's not the fucking answer. Phil Jackson knows. Phil Jackson knows more about basketball than you. He played against Wes Unseld, Bill Walton, and these fucking guys, Lenny Wilkins. Forget who he coached. Kobe and Shaq and Michael fucking Jordan. And if he sees something, now I'm not saying he's handled it right with the tweets against Carmelo. I think it's bullshit. I think it's total bullshit.
Yeah, just come right out, man.
And just trade him.
Yeah, just come right out. But
if he's feeling something, this is the second guy, George Karl, and I don't agree with what he did in his book shitting on Kenyon Martin, shitting on other players publicly and all this personal shit. But if George Karl, Phil Jackson, these are basketball minds. These are guys that the basketball is just. It's their life. It's just their fucking. It's in their blood. Not that it's not in Carmelo and the players, but experience. Think about experience in relationships. If they're saying Carmelo Anthony is not that dude, you have to believe it. And the proof is in the fucking pudding. The best that he's done is take that Denver Nuggets team to the Western Conference Finals. I know the coaching situation has been fucked up in New York. It's been fucked up, and he said 5 coaches, 5 different systems, 5 different ways shoot-arounds and practices are ran. It's bullshit. But at the end of the day, that je ne sais quoi, that charisma, that it factor on the court as a winner, as a champion, the only time Carmelo exuded it was at Syracuse, and he should have been in the NBA. He should have went straight from high school to the NBA. It's a fucking shit show in New York, man. They arrested Charles Oakley. People are shitting on Phil Jackson. People are shitting on Carmelo. There's a civil war. You're either on Team Carmelo or Team Phil Jackson. And fucking James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks, the son of a billionaire, has a blues band. James Dolan has a fucking blues band.
Yeah. He's got a lot of problems.
I'm over it. I'm fucking done. I don't know what more to do. It's an embarrassment. New York City is the mecca of basketball. Yes, motherfucker. New York City is still and always will be the mecca of basketball. Before the NBA.
Some people would disagree with that. Some people.
I'll fucking tell you, and then I want to let you hear because I think I just busted a blood vessel with that rant.